All right, Sam,
It's been a pretty flat couple of days up to this. So can you describe the mood post-grand final?
Yeah, it certainly has been pretty flat. Obviously, it's really disappointing to not get the result we wanted. We obviously went over there with, I guess, real hope and real belief that we could get the job done, and to come away with the results, obviously pretty disappointing.
How was the experience? Obviously, result not what you wanted, but how was the experience up the week and then the day itself?
I think, probably having a couple of days to reflect now is that, obviously the whole experience was great. It's every, I guess, boyhood dream to be able to play an AFL grand final, but at the same time, as mentioned, we didn't get the result we wanted. So, you have a bit of a somber feeling from it. But, I think, once we have a bit more time, it was great to get there, experience a parade and all that. And, if anything, it makes you more hungry to get back there and give ourselves another chance.
Have you had a chance to look back at the game, or you not want to do it, or?
No, I don't think I'll be jumping on to have a look. I think the coaches will go back, and I think it's important to reflect on it and get some learnings out of it. After the Sydney game last year, we had a disappointing result up there. We learned a lot from that, and I reckon that put us in a good stead this year. And the grand final on the weekend will be no different.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. What did you learn out of it? What would you do differently next time if there is a next time?
We certainly believe there's going to be a next time. We feel we're in a really good spot going forward. We've got a really strong squad, so we've got a lot of belief we can get back there. And I think it just shows the importance of the contest and all that again. It's something we spoke about publicly, that we wanted to improve our contested ball and our contested stuff, and the grand final was no different. Coupled that with a few offensive things, and taking the game on a little bit more at certain times, and I think with a few minor tweaks we can perform on the day and get it done.
Do you switch off for a bit now before looking ahead to next season, or is it straight on focusing?
I think it's important at the moment to spend some time with the boys, I guess celebrate the year we had, because there's obviously a lot of successes, and some guys had some terrific years, and these first days initially, it's to spend some time together and celebrate the season. But after that, I think it's important to just touch on it, have a little review, so that way you're not leaving into your holidays not understanding what went wrong and where we can improve. So I think that's important for us when we come back for pre-season, to know the areas we can get better at.
Mate, what went wrong on the weekend? That wasn't the way you guys normally play.
No, it wasn't. I think Richmond certainly suffocated us, and they didn't allow us to get our ball movement going, and I guess also our defence. I guess we get spoken about offensively a lot, but the things that we really value is the contest stuff, which we got beaten. I think overall in the day, I think we were down by 20 or 30 in contested ball, and we weren't able to, I guess, pressure them like we would through the midfield and through the forward half, which obviously put pressure on our defence. So probably all areas there's probably parts we can improve on.
Is that the most disappointing thing, that you didn't bring your A game?
Yeah, I think so. I think throughout the final series, and even throughout the big games this year, we've prided ourselves on playing our way. To be honest, through the whole game, we probably weren't able to get that going at all. We scored a couple of stoppage goals early in the first quarter, scored a couple late, and other than that, Richmond sort of controlled the game.
So that sit with you guys for a while. That sit with you guys for a while. Losing grand finals, bad, but I guess the fact that you didn't play the way that you have shown all year.
Absolutely, and it's certainly is a missed opportunity. We went over there with great belief that we were able to get it done, and the way the group's at, and we feel we're going to be around the mark for a while. So it's certainly a missed opportunity, and one we can get better, and hopefully give ourselves every chance to get back there next year.
Did they surprise you? Good luck. The way they played sort of caught you off guard at times.
I don't think it's that as such. It's Richmond have been playing some fantastic footy this time of the year. You watch the footy every final, and they've played some great footy, Richmond. Once again, we believe that if we played our way, we were able to execute and get the result. And as mentioned before, we didn't play our way pretty much at all, and that's credit to Richmond. They brought a real pressure. Made it hard for us to score, made it hard for us to defend, and full credit to them.
You've had a good year, but there has been a bit of trolling online just about the last game. Is it hard to not read some of those comments by people online?
It's probably no different. I think as players and members of the club, we're very well educated, from the AFL and also the club on how to control it, and management groups are taking good steps to help that as well. It's something we don't want to give fuel to in the media. I guess that's what they want. So, as players, we understand where social media sits these days. It's an important tool for both the club and players. At times, but in times like this, when you didn't play as well as you want, something you don't want to have a look at is you don't want to fuel the fire.
You sort of touched on it. Hindsight's a wonderful thing, but would you guys have liked to have been a bit more aggressive in your whole approach to the stand out, or?
I think, you know, when you get a result like that, I think you do look back and, you know, I think you do some things differently. I think if you come away and you lose, you know, I think you're silly if you don't think there's things you would do differently. So, as mentioned, I think we'll have some honest feedback and an assessment of the game and where we can improve going forward. It's important to touch on it, and you can get. You know, I think Michael Jordan once said you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, and I think that's very, very important in this state. And as mentioned, we'll spend some time together now, have a look, have a look, review it, and get ready to go next year.
What about for you, Sauce? You talk about how important it is for a break. I mean, on a personal level, given how up, down, and everything in between this last month or two has been for you, how keen are you to get away from it for a little bit?
Yeah, it's spot on. It's obviously been a really emotional roller coaster personally, but you know, I've had real purpose with my footy and that, which I think has really enabled me to, I guess, you know, perform the way I would have liked, which has been nice. But you know, to end on this note is pretty disappointing. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to a break. You know, mentally, physically. It's obviously been a big year. You know, put all the, I guess, the personal stuff aside, even in terms of load. You know, I was able to play every game this year, and so I'm really looking forward to, you know, just get away from footy. Spend some time with my wife and family, and just, I guess, reflect, and then, you know, get excited for next year.
Sorry, go on.
It's obviously like going with Lever. Would it disappoint you if he ended up leaving?
I think that'll play out in, I guess, the next little while. You know, it's part of the game these days. We understand as players, you know, whether it's coaches or players, everyone, you know, who comes out of contract is going to be scrutinised, and there's going to be a lot of, I guess, interest in what they're doing, and Lever's obviously in that situation at the moment. You know, we've seen in the past players have gone, but players have also stayed after, you know, making that decision. So I guess the next few days that'll play out, and, you know, we'll back our staff to make the right decisions.
You sound like you're still hopeful.
Oh, absolutely. I think you always do until you know, finally get told or whatnot. But you know, Levy's been an important part of our team the last 3 years, and you know, hopefully he does stay, and we'll see what happens in the next little while.
Do you talk to the guys,
and, Charlie and whatnot today, and maybe get into here and sort of put in the last-ditch recruiting attempt?
I think you know, at this stage of the year, I think they probably would know, you know, what they're doing or whatnot. But you know, as players, I think it's important to, you know, let players decide on their own what they're going to do and all that. And you know, we back our culture and we back our system. You know, we back at the moment where we, you know, it was a great year. We had a fun year. You know, as I mentioned before, we're not going anywhere. We're going to be successful for a few years coming. So, you know, if players want to be a part of that, then, you know, he'll stay. Or if not, he'll have a look elsewhere. So, you know, we'll back him in to make his decision.
You know, Bryce David Teague. Is there a chance that he might want to come here?
I don't know. Hopefully, but we'll wait and see. You know, as mentioned, at the moment it's not really about that, but you know, I think all those questions will probably be answered in the next couple of weeks once trade week starts. I think it's Friday, so we'll see what unfolds.
And you feel like the club's still pretty well placed to contend next year and beyond, next few years?
Absolutely. You know, we got really good confidence within the group that we're going to be around the mark for a while going forward. I think if you look at the demographic of the team, you know, we're in that, I guess, that window where we should be around the mark. You know, I'm 29. I'm the third oldest in the team now, so I think we're in a pretty good spot. The boys are really driven. Yes, we're disappointed at the moment, but once we have a break, have a reflect, we'll get ready to go again next year.
Is David Teague's off to?
I'm not sure actually. You have to ask Brodie Smith. It's been his little project, but you know, it's a nice, easy one. I think JJ's dressed up as a turtle, so I don't know where he's got his golf there from, but. You know, it's just a bit of fun, and you know, these days are good to spend, you know, with the players together, not only players but also staff at the club, and spend some time reflecting on the year and yeah, just relaxing together.
And David Teague, talk us off to Carlton. What has he added to the group in his time here?
Teague's been absolutely fantastic. I was fortunate enough to be coached by him in the VFL, and you know, I've spent, you know, the best part of my whole career with Teague. You know, the care and the love he's got for the group, and the demand he puts on each other. I think it's, you know, you can see the guys how much they've I guess improved under his tutelage, and you know, hopefully he hangs around, and we'll see what happens again. You know, it's not only players that there's question marks around their future, but you know, coaches as well, and I'm sure that'll play out in the next little bit.